Um, moving on. I'm now down to fine detail stuff that I'm deciding, does it go in the rubbish, does it go with me to France? And as I'm going through and making that decision, I'm getting some very, very happy memories. Uh, Things in my bureau that I'd forgotten that I'd saved. Now, here's a thing. Boarding pass. That was for a flight to Italy. Actually, that's the flight from Italy back to London. And look at these. Italian train tickets. Now, this was a very, very happy journey. That one is from a town or a station called Lastra a Signa to what's on here as Firenze or Florence to many of you. Then we've got from that one is Florence to Rome. And of course these are very, very good reminders because they carry with them the date that I made that journey and how much I paid for it. Oh dear, €31. 2015, September 2015, I went to Rome. That was a lovely, lovely journey. Rome is a beautiful city. Yeah, Florence, Lastra a Signa, Florence. During that trip, we visited all sorts of really, really lovely places. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. You've all heard of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We went and looked at it. It leans. So things like that. And then things that, I put away to keep them safe because they're happy memories. Look at this, Plymouth Rock. I haven't been there, but according to this, Brother George and his family did. I'm trying to read a date on it. It was the 16th of April. It got posted 2000 and smudge. Some lovely, beautiful stamps on there. It's some of these things. It's almost like communion. And at communion, we're told to do things in remembrance. Specifically in remembrance of Jesus Christ. But as we go through these sorts of things, we are reminded and we remember things from our past. A wallet that once belonged to my father, and in this, now this is how bad we are at keeping things. In this wallet, these are things that I never did. That is a little ticket out of a Weigh Yourself machine, and it tells me, what does it tell me? That on the 9th of June 1948, according to this, my father only weighed 6 stone 7 pounds. That can't be right, surely. I know he was thin, but that's very thin. My father thought that he should keep that. I still have it. Look at this. I don't have a clue what this is, except it's in Greek. My father went to Cyprus, not by choice, I hasten to add. He was sent there because at the time that he was sent there was a certain amount of violence going on between various peoples, and part of why my father was there was to try and stop some of the violence. He didn't. He put oxygen in aeroplanes. And look at this, a ticket. This is from the Colonial Photo Stores, Khartoum. Yeah, My dad was in Khartoum, where General Gordon met a sticky end. He wasn't there then, he was there again as part of a team of people that were intended to keep some sort of semblance of peace in Khartoum. And then something that is very special to me. There used to be photo shops where you had great sheets of these photos printed, and you could cut them into little bits and give them to people that you wanted to love you, I suppose. And on the 27th of October 1948, that is my grandmother, my father's mother. That's a lovely thing to have. I loved my grandmother. I guess I still do. My uncle Trevor. Now, why did my father go to a photo booth in Khartoum? To have his picture taken. And just to prove that he went there, this tag is for identification only and does not represent a receipt nor acknowledge responsibility for loss or damage, however caused. That's a sort of plane ticket. It's wonderful going through all of these things. The Searchlight tattoo, it doesn't actually say where that was. But look at that one. Dad went out on a bus ride while he was in Cyprus, as you do. And we keep these memories. Oh, ha! He went to watch a film in the Super Cinema in Mogadishu. Now, a word about Mogadishu. When I was at school and other boys said, "Where did your dad serve?" I used to say Mogadishu, and people said, "You made that up. There's no such place." Well, of course, now the world knows about Mogadishu. In fact, there was a film made about the place called Black Hawk Down, where the local people gave American forces quite a hard time. Ah, look, ha! That's his ticket for the Cunard White Star liner called the SS Scythia or Scythia. 12th of April 1948 to the 14th of April 1948, when he went from Port Suez to Port Sudan. And you will note that he was not a prisoner of war. He was a serving airman in the British Royal Air Force, and they made sure that he was comfortable and gave him a ticket for a bed. And yeah, lots of stuff. Oh, another weight ticket. And just to prove that he was there, he took a picture of a local chap. And then we find another picture of my grandmother. And it says that she was in the garden at Aunt Daisy's house. I remember Aunt Daisy. Aunt Daisy once gave me £5, and she was not quite blind, so it wasn't her fault that it was a Southern Rhodesian £5 that I couldn't spend anywhere. And I was told not to say a word and just be grateful. Funny how we get told to be grateful for things we didn't know we wanted. And yeah, another cinema ticket. So there we are, things that I've saved. Sadly, too many of those memorials to friends who are no longer with us. And so this process, it's very, very enjoyable, very time consuming. Do I keep the service sheet for the memorial to a friend of mine? I shall, because he was a good friend. And then you look at the date and you think 19th of January 2017, it only seems like yesterday. A very good man. So there we are. That's what I'm up to, tidying up minor sort of stuff. Empty glasses boxes. I don't know, shall I throw that or keep it? I've got a pair of glasses in the car that need a box. What on earth is in here? A cigar box. Oh, with an empty cigar tube. That'll be useful, won't it? And a name badge and incredible useful things. Pencil leads for propelling pencils. I haven't even got a propelling pencil. Oh well. Right, onwards and upwards. Lots more to shift. Oh, before we go, some of you might notice that I don't shave very often. There's a good reason for that. It's not particularly sharp. I use that actually for cutting card, for model making. It's a decent German one made of best Solingen steel. So there we are. Let's carry on, get this lot packed up. I will be taking these things with me. They are cherished memories. One more thing. A piece of paper folded neatly. And we open it, and what this is, when I bought the Skoda, the current Skoda, the silver one, I said to Father Leslie, almost joking, is there a blessing for a car? And yes, there is. And we stood in the street, Father Leslie in his full battle kit, you know, all the black and fancy stuff, and we stood there in the lay-by, in the street, with people going by looking at us as if we were quite mad, while we had the blessing. And yeah, lend a willing ear, Lord God, to our prayers, and bless this vehicle with your holy right hand. So when you see the Skoda, and when you see it taking me to France, just remember that Skoda has been properly blessed, how it should be. Right, yes, now, onwards and upwards.